Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to craft a flower with the Altenew Craft A Flower set for this month. It's called California Giants. It's a very simple layering floral set that's so easy to put together. This month the flower is 2 pieces, well actually 4. 2 pieces for the flower and then 2 pieces for the flower center. You get a stem and then 2 different leaves to go with your California Giant. We are going to jump in and create an A2 size Hello Just Because card. I'm going to take everything out of the package and let's do some die cutting. The nice thing about the Craft A Flowers is that it's a layering die cut flower, which you can create beautiful dimension with it. I'm going to use some colored cardstock. But you can see the hello. It's nice that Altenew is including a sentiment with it. This has the shadow and then also has the hello that you can put in the shadow. Here's the florals. You get the outline, you get the detail piece, you get the outline flower center, and then you get the detail flower center. We're going to create the flower first, so I'm going to bring in some gradient cardstock sets. I have a few of them, and I love this purple. This is called New Purple, and we are going to take the lightest, which is Wisteria, and the darkest, which is the beautiful plum color, and it's called Andromeda. I'm going to go ahead and use those for my florals and then go through my scrap stash for some yellow cardstock for my flower centers. I want to light and a dark. I think these are going to work out perfect. I'm going to go ahead and run everything through my die cut machine and we're going to craft a flower. Now you can see here the darkest detail piece is very detailed, and it cut all in one piece, which is so nice. Now if you wanted to use your adhesive sheets and cut this out with your cardstock, it could be easier, just peel and stick. I'm going to go ahead and use my glue since it was an afterthought. It seems like I always get excited and want to die cut right away instead of thinking about adding adhesive sheets behind my cardstock. Once I have all my glue added, we're going to go ahead and adhere this to our lightest color, and I'm trying to find a key point on the floral, and I think this bottom petal is going to work out. Once I place that, the rest just fall into place beautifully. Isn't that a gorgeous flower? Just going to press it really good, and I make sure that I got glue on all those ends since it is very detailed. Okay, after we have our floral done, we'll add a little dot of glue to our smallest flower center, adhere that to our large flower center. I'm going to press down so that glue adheres real good. And if you want dimension, like I do, we're going to add a foam square behind it. And if you don't, just go ahead and glue it directly to your flower center. I'm going to add 1 foam square, add a little bit of dimension to this flower, and we are good to go. And as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that with it being popped up, that very bottom piece just didn't look right. I'm going to add a dot of glue right behind it, and I'm going to hold it down. So that's going to be glued, but it will fan up with dimension. That's going to work out better for me. Flower is good to go. Now we're going to build our leaves. For our leaves, there is a gradient cardstock set from Altenew, but I don't have it. I just have the colors for flowers. So I'm going to go through my scrap stash, and we're going to use 3 different colors of green cardstock for our leaves. I'm going to line both of these leaves up as they would be die cut, and you can see they're 2 different shapes. The largest is the most open die. You have a medium, and then the small ones are the ones you want to use with your darkest color. On the front is a layering guide that you can use. So these are the colors that I chose. I'm going to go ahead and die cut out our largest die with our lightest color, or you can see it, the smallest here with our darkest. And I have a friend, he's been hanging around the desk all day long. He's wondering what the glass mat is. Usually I use my Altenew mat, but it's getting awful dirty, and so I thought I'd bring in my glass mat. This is usually on the opposite end of my craft desk, and this is his. So he's wondering what I'm doing with his craft mat. And he is very, he wants to play. So I am gonna try and die cut these out. He wants to eat them up. and we will assemble them in just a minute. This little guy's name's Princeton. We have 3 kitties actually, and 2 girls, and then this is our we call him, I call him Buddy, and actually the girls call him our little doggy because he's a cat that acts like a dog. But anyway, I have everything die cut here. Now we're going to put together our pieces. He actually wants to bite my layering guide here. He's gonna chew it up. He's something else. You get to see the ornery side of him. Okay, what I like to do when I layer my flowers and stuff is I look at the packaging to see how they are laid out on the packaging. This way it makes it so much easier for layering them all together. That's why I was holding up that package that he was eating. We're going to add our mid-tone green to our largest leaf here, and it just follows along the edge beautifully. And I'm using glue again. You can use any kind of adhesive you want. And then I'll take my darkest piece, and this is going to go on the bottom corner. I'm just going to flow right up there, and boom, your leaf is beautifully layered and dimensional and super pretty, I must say. And we'll do the same thing with our second leaf here. And I'm making sure I'm adding lots of glue to the end pieces. You don't want those floating up on your project. That's easy to follow along that bottom V shape, and then we'll add our third layer on that V shape going up, and that leaf is done. And then that long strip is the stem of our flowers. So basically what we do is take our flower, add it to the top of our stem. You can put the leaves anywhere you want, and you have a beautiful California giant in any color you'd like. Now for my sentiment in my background, I'm using the adhesive sheets. Yes, I decided to bring them in. I'm going to layer white cardstock on a pale, it's hard to see with the camera because of the lighting, but it's actually a very pale gray cardstock. I'm going to die cut out the hello. I'm going to add my adhesive sheet behind some white cardstock, and we're going to do quite a few of these. I want to create a background with with the hellos here. Now this hello is special because it actually it's not meant to go in layer center, it's meant to layer offset. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do one, and then off camera I'll do a whole bunch more. So this is my hello that I created a sticker with using the adhesive back sheets. You add it, I'm adding it to my gray cardstock, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. I found it best and easiest to line up the H all the way to the left, and using all the left of the E and the L's, line those up and you have a perfectly layered hello. Let me scoot it over so you can see. So it kind of looks dimensional with it offset. So I did a whole bunch of those. I thought we would create a background with them. So I added some glue behind my first hello, and that gray cardstock, we're putting it on a white panel that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. The gray is going to kind of make that hello pop, but very subtly, and that's what I was going for. And I'm going at an angle so we end up in that top right corner, evenly spacing them, and I let them overhang. I trimmed off the excess, and then I used the excess for any open areas. And I left that top portion open. I didn't want to go, you could very well completely cover the entire background if you wanted to, but my flower is going to be at the top corner, so I wasn't too concerned about that. I'm going to pop up my panel here that we created with all those hellos with foam adhesive, put it on an A2 size card base, and then we'll take our flower. I'm going to flip it over and add some foam tape behind here also, and I'm going to layer the stem right below it, and this is going to go a little bit to the right of my card, and I wanted the stem kind of at an angle. So we have a sentiment background, so we don't need to add the sentiment, and I think that's the best. I do have the floral overhanging a little bit. I'm going to trim the excess off with my scissors. If you don't want to do that, just scoot your flower over a little bit more. It probably have to be centered on your card, but I like it like this. I think it looks very pretty. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of white detail to the top of my flower center with my white gel pen here, and then last but not least, I'm going to add a few of my gems from my stash, and that finishes my card today, guys. If you're interested in the Craft A Flower, everything's over on my blog. You can check it out over there along with some still shots. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me, guys. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.